Excuse me, is this magnificent machine yours?
It belonged to my late husband. I've been protecting it for years.
I want to restore this old girl. I promise I'll make her shine again.
All right.
Just be gentle with her. I want to buy this 1905 model excavator and restore it, if you'd consider selling it.
It's yours. Please, take care of her.
It was lying there at the edge of an old industrial dumping ground, surrounded by twisted scrap, broken timber, and weeds that had grown unchecked for decades. At first, it didn't even look like a machine anymore. It looked like part of the earth itself, as if time had slowly swallowed it whole. And then I saw the outline clearly, the massive arm, the bucket shape, the heavy iron body. It was a 1905 model excavator. This machine was older than most roads around it, older than modern construction itself. It had once shaped landscapes, carved paths, and moved mountains of soil, long before diesel engines or hydraulic systems existed. Now it stood silent, abandoned, rusted, and forgotten. The 1905 model excavator was covered in layers of dirt, grease, and corrosion. Rainwater had pooled on its surfaces for years. Moss clung to the shaded areas. The bucket was locked in place, frozen by rust and time. The tracks were buried deep in hardened mud, as if the ground itself refused to let go. Standing there, I felt something unusual. This wasn't just about restoring metal. This was about bringing history back to life. As I walked slowly around the 1905 model excavator, I ran my hand over its iron skin. The metal felt rough, scarred, and cold. Every mark told a story, years of labor, strain, and purpose. This excavator had worked in an era when machines were built to last, when engineering favored strength, weight, and permanence. It deserved better than to disappear into the dirt. Bringing the 1905 model excavator back into view was the first challenge. Debris had to be cleared carefully. Broken boards were lifted away. Thick grass and roots were cut back. With every small effort, more of the machine revealed itself. Its true scale became clearer. This was not a small or delicate piece of equipment. It was a giant of its time. Dust filled the air as loose dirt was brushed from the frame of the 1905 model excavator. The sound was dry and soft, almost calm. Rust flaked. Buckets filled. Soil trolleys loaded. Steam hissed. Chains clinked. The machine was alive in a way that photographs or words could never convey. Observers could almost feel its heartbeat, mechanical and steady, powered by restored knowledge, sweat, and patience. Slowly, the workday concluded. The excavator paused mid-road, arm lowered carefully to the ground. Its tracks sank lightly into the dirt, still holding the marks of its labor. The sun reflected off polished metal surfaces and brass fittings. Steam valves released a final soft hiss, a whisper of life, a sigh of completion. The 1905 model excavator had moved from abandonment to restoration, from silence to purposeful work. It was more than a machine. It was a symbol of perseverance, of care, and of history reclaimed. It had transformed from forgotten relic to functioning marvel, commanding the earth it once shaped. As the trolleys were loaded for the last time, the machine's bucket lifted once more, high and proud. It pivoted gently, casting long shadows in the golden light. Then, slowly, it returned to a resting position, ready to work again whenever called upon. The 1905 model excavator had completed its journey, from neglect to restoration to active, living purpose. In this final moment, watching the 1905 model excavator operate, one could feel the passage of time shrink. The machine carried history forward, bridging the past with the present. And yet, despite all the work and metal, the most remarkable thing remained intangible, the quiet awe of witnessing something truly reborn. Its tracks pressed into the dirt one last time. Its bucket rested. Its valves gleamed. The 1905 model excavator, fully restored, fully functional, stood ready, not just as a machine, but as a living legacy of industrial art. The workshop doors slowly opened, and sunlight spilled across the floor. Dust particles hung in the air like tiny golden specks as the 1905 model excavator rolled forward. Its iron tracks creaked softly, each movement deliberate, measured, alive. After months of patient restoration, after every bolt, pipe, and valve had been renewed, it was finally ready to leave the safety of the workshop. Out into the open it moved, the weight of history pressing down, yet met with renewed strength. The 1905 model excavator emerged from its sheltered space, the restored surfaces catching the morning light. Rust was gone, replaced with raw, polished iron and subtle industrial paint. Brass fittings gleamed faintly, steam valves sat poised, and the bucket swung gently with each careful step. It was a living monument to an era long past. Slowly, the excavator made its way onto the dirt road leading away from the yard. Its tracks pressed deep lines into the soil. Every movement was purposeful, each rotation of the wheels smooth yet commanding. Observers could see it working almost like a creature, flexing its mechanical muscles. This was the 1905 model excavator in its element, a machine reborn. The road work began. The excavator's arm reached out, bucket scooping up earth and gravel with precise, deliberate motion. Each lift was a slow choreography, heavy metal meeting soil, filled bucket rising smoothly, pivoting gently, and lowering again. Dust swirled as the bucket cut through the ground, but there was grace in the motion. This was a machine that had been silent for decades, now breathing life into the work it was built for. A line of trolleys waited. With slow precision, the 1905 model excavator lifted its first load of soil. The bucket's contents slid evenly into the nearest trolley, settling with a soft thud. Steam hissed gently from the valves, the sounds understated, hypnotic. Every movement felt ASMR perfect, the grind of metal, the hiss of escaping steam, the faint scrah. As primer dried, the transformation became visible. The excavator no longer looked fragile. It looked strong again. Reassembly started slowly. Mechanical linkages were returned to the frame. Bolts were tightened with care, following original alignment. Every connection on the 1905 model excavator had a specific purpose, and it was honored. The steam cylinders were lowered back into place using a hoist. Their weight filled the space they once occupied, restoring balance to the machine. Pipes were reconnected, aligned precisely as they were over a century ago. There was a quiet satisfaction in seeing structure return. Fresh lubrication was applied to moving parts. Oil glistened as it flowed into joints and bearings, bringing back smooth motion. Components that once resisted movement now responded effortlessly. The 1905 model excavator was beginning to move again. Suspension elements and track assemblies were restored next. Each iron link was inspected, cleaned, and reinstalled. As the tracks came together, the excavator regained its stance. It stood taller, more confident. Body panels were returned one by one. Rivets were aligned. Edges matched perfectly. This was not coincidence. This was craftsmanship from another time. Final paint was applied carefully. The finish was industrial, matte, and authentic. It reflected light softly, not loudly. This was how the 1905 model excavator would have looked when it first rolled onto a job site. Brass components were polished and reinstalled. Gauges, valves, and fittings caught warm light inside the workshop. These small details